Hey everyone, I posted a picture of a new granola bar recipe that I tried out, and there was lots of good feedback, people wanting the recipe, so I thought I'd hop on and do a quick video and show you what's in it. It makes a really great base for any granola bar rendition that you want to make. You can add in anything to it basically, but I'll just show you the base and then give you some suggestions of things that you could add to it as well. I tried out a new tool yesterday too, and it's a granola bar mold. I had never used it before, wasn't really sure how it was going to come out, but I've been looking for something because when I make granola bars in a pan, oftentimes when I go to cut them, they crumble or they don't cut straight and then they break, and then you just end up with granola. So I tried out this cool granola bar mold, and it worked really well. So I'll show you the recipe and how it works, okay? So first, you need a cup of dates. I buy the big kilogram bag of them at Superstore. They're about $5 or $6 or something. You get a ton of them in there. It fills up this entire canister, and they store really well as well. They're dried, so you could use Costco ones. They have really good ones at Costco, but they're about double the price for about half the quantity. So anyway, you want to get a cup of dates and soak them in water for about 10 minutes. So I've done that. I'm just going to drain them here in this thing. You don't need to keep the fluid or the date juice from it, I guess I should say. I've used this thing, it's called a Power Chef. I've used it in other videos. It's one of my staple little mechanical devices I use in my kitchen all the time. It's great for chopping things up, especially dates, which I just learned. I had no idea. I used to just hand chop my dates. I have tried them in the Vitamix and they don't chop well. Food processor processes them, but this little thing chops them nicely and gives a good consistency for granola bars. So I was pretty impressed with that. So just plop them in and then pull this little cord. It doesn't take much power. And see how it chops up the dates really nicely. Now, you're supposed to add the dates to the bowl and then mix in 1 3/4 cups of oats to that. But when I did this yesterday, I was mixing up the oats and the dates, and I was finding there were more chunks of dates than others in other parts of the oatmeal. So I took my 1 3/4 cup of oats and added it to this Power Chef, and then I mixed it like this, and it disperses the dates perfectly evenly throughout the entire mixture. Brilliant, brilliant. I was so impressed with that. Now, I understand not everyone has one of these, so if you don't, you can go ahead and just chop up your dates by hand, or whiz them in your food processor, whatever you normally would do, and then you'll add it to a bowl with 1 3/4 cups of oats, and just get your fingers in there and make sure it's all evenly dispersed or mixed around. I mean, I've made granola bars since the end of time that way, and they turn out fine. I just find this method, it comes out perfect, like perfect consistency. And maybe that's why I really like this recipe. Okay, to that we are going to add some, I'm just going to get a container here to mix in the wet ingredients. You need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. You could do this in a pot as well, but I'm just going to microwave the wet ingredients. 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, a tablespoon of butter. I use real butter. This is unsalted. I'm just going to guesstimate here a little bit. It's about a tablespoon, maybe a little less than that, but whatever. I do find using a very small portion of butter mixed with coconut oil gives a better texture. It gives it a little bit more of a chew and less of a crumble, if that makes sense. I have tried it in several different recipes, and just a hint of butter. Of course, you don't want this to end up being like you're eating a cookie, right? Even though they taste like cookies. You still want to try and keep the health factor in. Next thing we need is 1/4 cup of nut butter. I use peanut butter. I love Adam's peanut butter. The only downfall to it is it does have salt in it. How much salt? 2% per serving. It's not crazy, but you can get unsalted natural peanut butter. And of course, with peanut butter, try and go the natural route. Okay, and when you're looking for a good natural peanut butter, just look at the ingredients and it should say roasted peanuts or peanuts. There's like 1 or 2 ingredients, and if there's salt in it, then there's only peanuts and salt. Now, I'm just kind of guesstimating here, but I could have used my measuring cup. With peanut butter, I never measure. If there's a little bit extra in there, oh darn. Yum. Whoops. Okay, next thing. 2 tablespoons of honey. Okay, I use the cream. I use cream honey. You can use liquid, whatever you prefer. And again, you can put this all in a pot. You can put it in a bowl. You're just going to pop it in the microwave for 40 seconds or so, just to melt it. Okay, everything's all in there, nice. Just going to pop it in the micro. In the microwave. There we go. Okay, so we'll let that do its thing. Now, you could add some add-ins to the oat and date mixture now before you add the wet ingredients to the dry. So some suggestions would be coconut. You could add more dried fruit, anything, chopped up apricots, cranberries, raisins. You could add chocolate chips. It's always a very popular one. Nuts, some chopped up almonds or cashews would be really good in here. What else could you add? You could do marshmallows if you wanted a bit of like a s'more type. Marshmallows and chocolate chips, that'd be good. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut to this though, so just a sec. You can really add anything you want. And I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup. Why not 1/2 cup? Okay, so just mix it up like the 1/2 cup of whatever add-ins that you want to do. Okay, and then just mix it around. So that's what mine looks like right now. So I'm going to grab my wet ingredients here and give it a stir. Okay. Oops. Stir it all around so it's all incorporated and even. Okay. And then just add the wet to the dry. This recipe also works really well if you want to make them into balls. really any granola bar recipe you can make into balls. Sometimes when I feel lazy I do that, or if I just want super quick bites of things, like when I'm busy in the house and don't really have time to grab much, I'll just pop these in the freezer, and then if I just need a bite of something, then I'll just go sneak one out of the freezer. Okay, and you're just gonna mix that up. If you've added a little bit too much add-ins, just add a bit more peanut butter. You could add in some applesauce as well, so that you're not adding more fats and sugars. I would personally add more peanut butter and honey, but I know we're always looking for a healthy alternative. So I don't know what it is, but these proportions are just perfect for this recipe. So that's what it looks like. It's nice and sticky, okay? And I'm going to show you how I put them into these molds now. Just have to rinse my hands. Okay. I just spoon them in. Each mold tray makes 4, which isn't that many, but they are quite dense, so you could cut them in half or use more than one tray. So I just roughly add them in, and then there's a plunger it comes with, and that's what you use just to press it down into the mold. Cute, hey? You just pop the lid on, put them in the fridge, and chill them for a couple of hours, and then they just pop right out of the mold. I just use a spatula to loosen up the edges, and they literally just pop right out. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done. So this is one that I wrapped up from yesterday. See, they're like, there's no crumbling. They're just the perfect texture. They're like a real granola bar. Amazing. Now, if you don't have this bar mold, that's fine. You can just line a like an 8x8 Pyrex and just pat down the dough mixture into it. Use parchment paper. Once you get it all in the pan, just use a piece of parchment paper, okay, and just push it down onto the dough so that it's really compacted in there, okay. And then same thing, chill it. There's no baking involved. Chill it for a few hours, and then you can go ahead and cut it, okay. And I hope it keeps it safe. I'm sure it will, because the dough recipe is quite, like the texture of it is quite nice. It's not too dry and it's not too wet. So anyway, give that a try. Let me know what you think of it, and I will post the recipe in the comments as well. And if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.